Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell, and welcome to the 12 Games of Christmas. This is a series of videos that we put out here in the Dice Tower each year, where we try to find 12 games in each of our 10 categories that are spectacular games for you to buy for folks for Christmas, or for you to give to someone else so that they can get them for you. We want to say thank you to our sponsors, Days of Wonder, Libellude, and Repos Productions. They make some amazing games out there. I'm sure you've heard of many of their fantastic games like Ticket to Ride and other wonderful games, but their best games are family games. And that's what we're talking about here, family games. These are games for the whole family. Now, you don't need a family to play these games. I will play these games with anybody, anywhere. But sometimes you don't want to play super heavy strategy. Sometimes you don't want to play a silly little party game. You want to play something in the middle. Well, that's what this list is all about. Here we go.
First up, we're taking a look at Castle Combo. This is a critical darling, a bestseller of the year, and one that really earns that place with its interesting gameplay and punchy return of investment in time to gameplay. You are going to be taking 9 turns the whole game, drafting a card, putting it in front of you in a 3x3 grid, but everything scores off of everything else. You are going to have to manage your money, manage your positioning of these characters. You are going to have to worry about every little thing, and yet the game feels kind of breezy and interesting. You can enjoy just drawing a card, playing it somewhere, seeing how it all comes together. Really love this one. Certainly one to play if you value your time. You want something that's going to be 20, 30 minutes, but boy, it gives you a lot of return on that. This is a good one for those friends who are a little bit pressed for time but want to turn the brain on. That is Castle Combo.
Critter Kitchen is an adorable family weight game where players are going to be chefs, and they are sending their assistants out to gather the ingredients needed to create beautiful, delicious dishes for their customers, and to ultimately create a tasting menu, a multi-course tasting menu for a food critic. The idea behind this is you're going to be using a worker placement system where random ingredients are going to be showing up at different locations, and you're going to be placing your workers at these different locations. The trick is that no one knows where everyone's going until everyone reveals. And so if you are at the same location as one or more players, you're going to have to go through a turn order system to see who gets to go and get the best ingredients first. It's a relatively simple game, which is something you're looking for in a family weight game. Still plenty of compelling decisions, and what a gorgeous world that you are living in for those 30 minutes to an hour. That's Critter Kitchen.
Our next pick for a family game is going to be Parks 2nd Edition. Now, for fans of the original Parks, I think you're going to appreciate the streamlined gameplay, as well as the inclusion of some of the expansion material as well from the original. So this is going to feel like a tighter, more streamlined version of all the best hits of the 1st edition. If you haven't played the 1st edition, though, you can expect a very nostalgic artwork here as you're going through and trying to take pictures at all of the national parks, or as many as possible at least. So you're doing this in a tight race for worker placement and track placement to gather resources, having the right resources at the right time to take the right picture and ultimately get the most points. So if that sounds like something your family is interested in, be sure to check out Parks 2nd Edition.
I'm going to talk about Dungeon Legends. Dungeon Legends is one that the box kind of doesn't look like what is on the inside. I saw this box and I thought this is going to be like a really deep, hard to set up dungeon crawl. Well, it's not. It's probably, I think, closer to Clank without the dungeon crawl. It's easier to set up, but it's got, well, a little bit of Clank and a little bit of Legendary. And I say that because you've got that track at the top that you're seeing monsters kind of line up and kind of go through, that you have got to go and you've got to remove those monsters and those threats, right? But it's also, the weight of this is more family weight, because you're going to see your cards, you're going to know you have certain movement, a certain attack, and also each scenario is different enough to keep it fresh. First one, you're just stopping monsters from hitting the castle. Later, you might be in a mine shaft, a little card coming through there. All of these are different enough to make everything feel unique, and each scenario has its own monsters that come out. You're going to have some universal ones that show up routinely throughout the game, but you are going to have some newer ones that come out, and so that each scenario plays differently. And that's the other thing is, this can also be, you can play its chapters on standalone, or you can play a campaign. I like that. I like the option. If you're a family that likes to go through a campaign, by all means, go through the campaign. If you have different games you want to play, then chapters are going to be a good way to jump around. So this is Dungeon Legends. Again, the artwork on this is incredible. The way it plays is really good. It takes a couple of my favorite games, Legendary and Clank, and kind of gives you that feel in a family weight game. So check this out, Dungeon Legends.
Our next game is Ink. This is a game from Final Score Games, which has some really beautiful components, little ink wells. And this is a game in which you essentially have a bunch of inkwells in front of you, and you are trying to get them all out on the board. And you're doing this through a little bit of clever play as you're placing little tiles out in groups, trying to find an area where you can offload these inkwells. So there's a bit of spatial play. There's a bit of what we call rondelle movement, where you're moving your piece around this circle in the middle. You can move as far as you want, but the farther you move it, you might get some negative setbacks. But it's also kind of just a chill, almost cozy-esque game, and building and getting groups and putting your inkwells out will sometimes give you special abilities that let you get more out, little bits of combos, a lot of fun, and a really pretty display when you're finished that will have the people in your family saying, hey, can we try this just one more time? And you'll say, yeah, let's play Ink again.
Piña Coladice is one of the games that you can play with anybody at any family function. This is going to have a Yahtzee feel where you're rolling dice up to 3 times to try to get some sort of set, whether that be a run of 4 or 4 of a kind or 5 of a kind ideally, something. But it also has this tic-tac-toe element where you don't just want to get the right combination of dice, you want them in the right placement out on the main shared grid, because if you ever get the 4 in a row, you get Piña Coladice and instantly win. If that doesn't happen, though, there's a fallout or fallback on points as well. So you want to make sure you have the most highest scoring sets as well. So it's going to feel a little bit like tic-tac-toe, a little bit like Yahtzee, but kind of something that anyone in your family can jump into. So if that sounds interesting, that your family would be able to get it to the table, check out Piña Coladice.
Next up is Please Don't Burn My Village. This is a 30-minute economic game where you're trying to convince this dragon to leave your village alone while he burns all the other ones on the countryside. You do this by sending him gifts, giving him offerings, and you are constantly everyone's adjusting the price of those offerings and what they're worth at the end of the game. Whoever's given him the most valuable stuff will not have their village burned. This is a fun little cute theme along with those cool economic strategies. So if that sounds interesting, check that one out.
If you're looking for a gorgeous tile laying game, then look no further than Railroad Tiles. This one is going to have you drafting tiles, placing them in front of you in a grid, building roads and building railroad tracks, trying to get the most victory points. The whole thing looks amazing. It has this really beautiful sort of watercolor vibe going on. But it's puzzly. It's going to be tricky, as you have to be careful which things you take, how you line them up, and making sure that you don't leave too many open-ended roads and railroad tracks, because those are going to cost you victory points. So don't just open up ends and leave them unfinished. Really neat, comes together beautifully. It's fairly punchy and quick, and I think a lot of the family is going to enjoy this one. So one to look into, Railroad Tiles.
The Hobbit, There and Back Again, is one of the newer games in the world of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. And this has been a very popular IP over the years, and this is one where you are specifically going through the main storyline of The Hobbit. You're going to have 8 chapters, which are basically 8 different game boards in this game, which is a roll and write style of game. You're going to be rolling different dice. Most of them are going to have some type of a polyomino type shape for path drawing. You're going to be drawing paths with dry erase markers. And the book that you're using to open up to these different chapters is kind of like a board book that you see for babies or small children, and it works really well here. Each of the different chapters are going to have a new little scoring or a twist in the mechanisms of the game to keep things fresh. But at the end, you've played through all of the 8 chapters and you have kind of this big epic finale, and all of these boards are replayable. So it's not like you can only play through the game once and then you're done with it. Each of the boards has its own compelling challenge, and you can go back and revisit them as many times as you like. That is The Hobbit, There and Back Again.
The next recommendation is Twinkle Twinkle, a tile laying game with these beautiful clear acrylic tiles as you play them onto your star map and board, and you make great constellations, arrays of asteroids and black holes and planets. A neat, simple scoring system where you're trying to either make big constellations or lots of different ones. Keep planets away from black holes, make a really good looking starscape, basically. It's driven by this great mechanism I love, as seen in games like King Domino or Floriferous, where you can take the frontmost tile and you can go first next round, or you can take the backmost tile and go last next round, but the best tiles get put into the rear, into the back of the turn order. So as you're selecting tiles for this round, you're also considering what are you going to be able to take next round. It's beautiful, it's fun, it has a good amount of variety with the scoring, so I'm recommending Twinkle Twinkle.
Next, I'm going to talk about one that has like a cute, really cute kind of Cuphead artwork. This is Fliptoons. Fliptoons is a lot of fun. I ended up playing this with my daughter and son-in-law, and they just adored this game. This is so fun. You're going to kind of flip cards, and you're going to try to get a synergy. It's all about victory points, right? But every card that you kind of put into your tableau is going to score differently as it comes out where it is placed, because you're going to get them in your deck, and then you're going to flip and see where they land. So you're kind of taking that chance. It's a bit of luck on that, on where they place, but you want them, because like if it places like top left, you're going to get like 10 points. But if it's bottom right, then it's going to be 1 point. So if you get that perfect placement, you're going to score just an immense amount of points. But if it is in the wrong place, you could lose points or possibly lose cards. There's a little bit of take that in this kind of pig, that you can get the little pig card and you can stick it in someone else's deck, and it just kind of muddies up their deck. This is a really, really neat game that also plays very quick, because you are drafting them into your deck. So it's deck building, but you're also taking that chance of when they're going to come up. There is some mitigation on it that all uses the cards. So it kind of feels like a little bit Fantasy Realms mixed with a deck building game. And adorable artwork. You know, I didn't know what Cuphead was until like a couple years ago, but now it's great. It looks good. It works really well in this. Fliptoons is one I cannot recommend enough. It also is small, so you can take it with you no matter where you go. Anyway, this is Fliptoons by Thunderworks.
Our final game is the best, at least that's in my opinion. This is a game called Hot Streak. Is it funny to watch at a sporting event the big mascots doing a race or some funny thing like that? I think so, and that's what this game is. You have 4 big mascots who are running a race, and you are betting on them. But these mascots might fall down. They might turn and run off the track. They might turn around and run the wrong way. They might collide with each other, knock each other over. This is one of the funniest games that you will have your entire family rolling on the ground laughing about, and at the same time some stand-up exciting moments as you're like, yes, I want to see the fish cross the line. It's hilarious. Every time I played this, and I've played this over 50 times, we've had a great time. I played this at parties. I played this with my family. I played this with people I didn't know very well, but everyone was cheering and laughing at the end of it. It's a fantastic production with these big plastic chunky mascots that are running, and you're just going to find yourself laughing and having a great time the whole way through. Definitely check out Hot Streak. And that's it. That's the last game for families. So these are 12 games for families. We want to say once again, thanks to our sponsors, Days of Wonder, Repost Production, and Libellude for the great games that they make. We want to say thank you to all of you watching. Certainly go look for these games. We tried to pick games that are in print right now. I hope you have fun finding them and playing them. And I also hope that you have a very Merry Christmas. Check out our other 9 lists. I'm Tom Vassell, and it's the 12 Games of Christmas on the Dice Tower. Hey folks, I'm Tom Vassell. Thanks for watching this video. Check out our channel. We have a lot of videos on our channel. We have live videos that go up each week, from live Q&As to videos where we take a look at the newest stuff on Kickstarter, crowd surfing, to top 10 lists and more. There's lots of stuff on this channel. We encourage you to explore it. You can find out more at our website, dicetower.com. I'm Tom Vassell. Thanks for watching another video on the Dice Tower.